Rapunzel, retold and illustrated by Rachel Isadora. Once there was a man and a woman who longed to have a baby. Finally, their wish was granted, and the woman came to be with child. Next to their hut was a garden full of beautiful flowers and herbs. However, no one dared to go in it because it belonged to a wicked sorceress. One day, the wife saw fresh Rapunzel growing in the garden and had the greatest desire to eat some. With each passing day that she couldn't have any, her desire grew, and she became very ill. Her husband asked, "What ails you, dear wife?" "Oh," she answered, "if I do not get Rapunzel, I shall surely die." The man decided he must get some, no matter what. So that evening, he climbed into the garden and quickly grabbed some. The Rapunzel tasted so good that now the wife wanted even more. Once again, the husband climbed into the garden. And there, to his horror, stood the sorceress. "How dare you come into my garden and steal my Rapunzel? You will pay for this," she said. The husband begged for mercy and explained that his wife would die if she did not have any. "Well then, you can take the Rapunzel, but you must give me the child your wife will bring into the world," she told him. The man, in his terror, agreed. When the child was born, the sorceress appeared, named the little girl Rapunzel, and took her away. Rapunzel grew into the most beautiful child under the sun. When Rapunzel turned 12, the sorceress locked her in a high tower that had neither a door nor stairs, but only a window at the very top. When the sorceress wanted to enter, she stood below and called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel then wound her beautiful long hair around a hook and let it fall to the ground below so the sorceress could climb up. A few years later, a prince was riding by the tower when he heard a song so lovely, he stopped to listen. He saw Rapunzel in the window and fell in love with her. He wanted to climb up, but found no way to do so. The prince returned every day to hear Rapunzel's sweet song. One day he saw the sorceress approach the tower. He hid behind a tree to listen. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair," she called out. He watched as the sorceress climbed up to the tiny window. The following day, the prince went to the tower and called as the sorceress had done. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." The hair fell down, and the prince climbed up. At first, Rapunzel was frightened, but then the prince spoke kindly and explained that his heart had been touched by her singing. Rapunzel lost her fear, and when he asked if she could take him for her husband, she said yes. They said their vows of marriage in the tower and agreed that the prince would visit every night, for the sorceress came by day. The sorceress did not find out about the prince's visits until one day Rapunzel said, "Please help me with my dress. It seems to grow tighter every day." "Why, you thankless girl!" the sorceress cried, realizing that Rapunzel was with child. "I thought I had separated you from the world, but you have tricked me." She grabbed Rapunzel's hair and snip, snip, cut it off. Then she took poor Rapunzel into the wilderness, where she left her all alone. The sorceress returned to the tower and tied the cut-off hair to the hook of the window. When the prince came and called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair," she let down the hair. The prince climbed up, But instead of his beloved Rapunzel, he found the evil sorceress. "Aha! You have come for your dearest, but you will never see her again." The prince was so overcome with grief that he threw himself from the tower. He escaped with his life, but the thorns he fell upon blinded his eyes. He wandered through the wilderness for years, eating nothing but roots and berries, weeping over the loss of his beloved wife. One day the prince heard a voice, and it seemed so familiar. He went toward it. As he approached, Rapunzel recognized him and threw her arms around his shoulders and wept. Her tears fell on his eyes, and he was no longer blind. The prince led Rapunzel and their twins to his kingdom, where they were received with great joy and lived happily ever after. Hey friends, it's me, Miss Olivia. Thank you so much for listening to the retelling of the story Rapunzel. I hope you all enjoyed listening to this story as much as I enjoyed reading it to you. Until next time, my name is Miss Olivia. This is Miss Olivia Reads, and I cannot wait for you to join me for another reading adventure very soon. Bye, friends.